You are old, your hands, once strong enough to bring down a mammoth, now tremble as you reach for a berry. Your eyes, once keen enough to spot a gazelle on the horizon, now struggle to see the face of your grandchild. You can no longer hunt, you can no longer gather, you can no longer contribute to the daily survival of the tribe in the same way. In many animal species, this would be a death sentence. The old are left behind, a burden the group cannot afford. But for your ancestors, it was different. You are not a burden. You are a library. You are a map. You are a living history. For 99% of human history, the elderly were not just tolerated, they were revered. They were the keepers of knowledge, the living encyclopedias of a world without writing. For roughly 300,000 years, every wrinkle on an elder's face was a story, every scar a lesson, every gray hair a testament to survival. How did this unique human trait, the care for the non-productive elderly, evolve? Anthropologist Kristen Hawkes from the University of Utah has spent decades studying the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies. Her grandmother hypothesis suggests that older women, past their reproductive years, played a crucial role in human evolution. They didn't just sit by the fire. They actively contributed by gathering food, especially nutrient-rich tubers, which freed up younger women to have more children. They also shared their vast knowledge of the environment, teaching the young which plants were safe, where to find water, and how to survive. Grandmothers were not just babysitters. They were economic engines and knowledge repositories. Now consider the archaeological record. At the site of Dmanisi in Georgia, dating back 1.8 million years, researchers found the skull of an elderly hominin who had lost all his teeth years before he died. This individual, known as Dmanisi Skull 4, could not have chewed food on his own. He must have been fed and cared for by others. This is a powerful piece of evidence. It shows that even at the very dawn of humanity, long before modern Homo sapiens, our ancestors were practicing a form of compassionate care for the vulnerable. This was not a luxury. This was a survival strategy. A group that cared for its weakest members was a stronger group. But care for the elderly was not just about physical survival. It was about cultural survival. Imagine a world without books, without the internet, without any written record. All the accumulated knowledge of generations, the location of water holes, the migration patterns of animals, the medicinal properties of plants, the stories of the ancestors, resided in the minds of the elders. When an elder died, a library burned. When an elder lived, the library grew. Consider the role of storytelling. At night, around the flickering fire, the elders would recount the tales of the tribe. They would tell of great hunts, of harsh winters, of successful migrations. They would share the wisdom accumulated over a lifetime. These stories were not just entertainment. They were a mnemonic device, a way of transmitting vital information across generations. The young would listen, absorbing the lessons, learning the history, understanding their place in the world. The elder was the living textbook. The respect for elders was deeply ingrained in the social fabric. It was not just a moral imperative, it was a practical one. The elders were the ones who had seen it all. They had survived droughts, floods, and famines. They had witnessed the changing patterns of the seasons. They had experienced the triumphs and tragedies of the tribe. Their advice was invaluable. When a difficult decision had to be made, the elders were consulted. Their wisdom was the compass that guided the group through uncertain times. But what about the burden? In a world of scarcity, every mouth to feed is a cost. How did ancient humans justify supporting those who could no longer contribute physically? The answer lies in the long-term benefits. The knowledge, the wisdom, the social cohesion that elders provided far outweighed the cost of their upkeep. They were an investment in the future. They were the glue that held the past, present, and future of the tribe together. Anthropologist Jared Diamond, in his book The World Until Yesterday, highlights how traditional societies often have a deep respect for elders, viewing them as repositories of knowledge and experience. He contrasts this with some modern societies that tend to devalue the elderly, seeing them as unproductive. This ancient wisdom suggests that a society that honors its elders is a society that values its own history and its own future. The care for the elderly also fostered empathy and altruism, traits that are crucial for human cooperation. When you care for someone who cannot care for themselves, you are strengthening the bonds of compassion within the group. You are teaching the young that everyone has value, regardless of their physical abilities. You are building a society where vulnerability is met with support, not abandonment. This is the foundation of human kindness. Consider the practical implications of this intergenerational transfer of knowledge. When a drought hit, it was the elders who remembered the hidden springs from decades past. When a new animal entered the territory, it was the elders who knew its habits and how to hunt it safely. When a child fell ill, it was the elders who knew which plants could heal and which rituals could soothe. This was not just abstract wisdom, it was life-saving information. The survival of the group literally depended on the memories of its oldest members. Think about the wisdom of crowds effect. but applied to a single living individual. An elder's brain was a vast database, constantly updated with new experiences, cross-referenced with the collective memory of the tribe. They were the ultimate risk managers, having seen every possible scenario play out over a long lifetime. Their caution was not a sign of weakness, but a hard-won lesson in survival. Their advice was not a suggestion, but a distillation of generations of trial and error. But the relationship was not one-sided. The young also contributed to the well-being of the elders. They provided physical support, helping them move around, fetching water, and preparing food. They offered companionship, listening to their stories, and learning from their wisdom. This reciprocal relationship reinforced the bonds of the group, creating a virtuous cycle of care and respect. The young learned that one day they too would be old, and that their own future security depended on the traditions they upheld today. Archaeological evidence supports this idea. At the site of La Chapelle aux Saints in France, a Neanderthal burial dating back 50,000 years contained the remains of an elderly man who had lost most of his teeth, suffered from severe arthritis, and had a broken jaw that had healed. He would have been in constant pain and unable to hunt or even chew solid food. Yet he lived for many years after these injuries. This old man of La Chapelle is powerful proof that even Neanderthals, often depicted as brutish and unsophisticated, cared deeply for their vulnerable elders. They were not just surviving, they were thriving through compassion. This compassionate care is a hallmark of humanity. It is what distinguishes us from many other species. It is the root of our empathy, our altruism, and our social conscience. It is the reason why we build hospitals, nursing homes, and social safety nets. The impulse to care for the weak and the old is not a modern invention. It is an ancient biological imperative honed over millions of years of evolution. Consider the evolutionary advantage of this system. A group that cares for its elders retains valuable knowledge. A group that discards its elders loses that knowledge. In a rapidly changing environment, the ability to draw on a deep well of experience is a massive advantage. The elders were the living archives, the repositories of solutions to problems that might arise again. They were the ultimate insurance policy against an uncertain future. But the elders also provided a sense of continuity and meaning. They connected the present generation to the past, giving them a sense of identity and purpose. They were the living embodiment of the tribe's history, its values, and its traditions. In a world where life was often short and brutal, the presence of elders provided a sense of stability and hope. They were a reminder that life could be long, that wisdom could be accumulated, and that the tribe would endure. Think about the psychological impact of this. Knowing that you will be cared for in your old age reduces stress and anxiety. It allows you to live a more fulfilling life, knowing that your contributions will be valued, even when your physical strength wanes. It fosters a sense of belonging and security. This is a fundamental human need, and your ancestors understood it intuitively. They built a society that met this need, not through laws or institutions, but through the simple act of caring. The role of elders in conflict resolution was also significant. Having witnessed countless disputes over a lifetime, they often possessed the wisdom and impartiality to mediate conflicts and restore harmony within the group. Their experience taught them the long-term consequences of unresolved tensions, making them natural peacemakers. They were the first judges, the first diplomats, the first counselors. Their presence was a stabilizing force, preventing small disagreements from escalating into destructive feuds. This intergenerational learning was not limited to practical skills. It extended to the spiritual realm. Elders were often the primary teachers of myths, rituals, and spiritual beliefs. They transmitted the tribe's worldview, its understanding of the cosmos, and its connection to the sacred. They were the spiritual guides, helping the young navigate the mysteries of life and death. This spiritual guidance provided comfort, meaning, and a sense of belonging in a world that could often feel chaotic and unpredictable. So the next time you interact with an elderly person, remember the profound legacy they carry. Remember that they are not just individuals. They are living libraries, maps, and histories. They are the embodiment of human resilience, wisdom, and compassion. They are the foundation upon which your own life is built, and they are a testament to the enduring power of human connection. The care for the elderly is not a burden. It is an honor. It is an investment in your own future. It is a recognition of the value of every human life. It is a celebration of the wisdom that comes with age. It is a testament to the enduring power of human kindness. And it is a practice that has shaped your species from its very beginnings. You are the product of this ancient wisdom. You are the inheritor of this compassionate legacy. You are the one who will carry this tradition forward. You are the one who will ensure that the elderly are not just tolerated, but revered. You are the one who will ensure that their knowledge is not lost, but passed on. You are the one who will ensure that their wisdom continues to guide the group through uncertain times. You are the one who will ensure that the flame of humanity continues to burn brightly, fueled by the warmth of intergenerational care. The care for the elderly is a mirror reflecting our deepest humanity. It shows us that true strength lies not in individual power, but in collective compassion. It shows us that true progress is not measured by technological advancement alone, but by the quality of our relationships. It shows us that true wisdom is not found in books, but in the lived experiences of those who have come before us. And it shows us that the future of our species depends on our ability to honor and cherish the past. So the next time you see an elder, remember that you are looking at a living testament to the enduring power of human connection, a connection that has sustained our species for 300,000 years.